Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all fandoms, welcome to the Ferret Raccoon podcast, episode 37. I am Ace.
I'm the Dank Raccoon.
And this is our pre-Comic-Con podcast.
Pretty much, yeah. So, as I'm sure a lot of people who are fans of this channel, being the Dank Raccoon channel, would probably be aware that there are... I wouldn't say they are. Well, there are a lot of videos regarding like interviews and Comic-Con content and just the whole mythos regarding, I guess, the podcast and, you know, the channel in general is regarding like, you know, comic books, anime, you know, that kind of pop culture. So
I think in one of your videos you can see Goku walking around. It's brilliant.
Oh god, don't even go on about that. Like, we're planning for the upcoming London Comic-Con at the MCM Excel Centre, and that is one thing I have put down in the notes, and that is to make sure that I'm not filming behind any Dragon Ball Z cosplayers.
I'm just going to pop up as a Dragon Ball Z character. I'll go as Trunks, just pop up behind everyone.
Well, Trunks is cool, but, you know, I mean, it was just can be a bit jarring in some sense where it's like, yeah, I got this interview with these cosplayers, or hey, my video's doing really popular for maybe the wrong reasons, if you want. But rather than that, yes, so this is the, you know, as you've said, the pre E3 podcast. I don't know what exactly we're going to do for E3. We got plans, but hopefully stick tuned because we got a lot of plan for the next month. So as soon as this is the last podcast for the month of May, and June is going to be... Oof, we got a lot going up.
Yeah, it's going to be quite packed.
Yeah, we do have a lot. I think we've got anything that we record there. We've got a few more impressions coming. We've also got a new Let's Play as well coming out, which is going splendid. That's all we're going to say is it's going pretty splendid.
I love this one. It's been good.
I mean, granted, we've only done like one playthrough of the game, but this one is already shaping up to be a barrel of laughs, I would say. But anyway, moving on, let's talk about what we've been doing over the last fortnight, as this is a fortnightly podcast. Ace, would you like to kick it off? Because I believe you've done more than me.
Yeah, I've done quite a bit. So I'm going to kind of brief through two of them. The other one go a bit more into detail with. So I rewatched American Psycho.
Oh, nice.
Film's still amazing. Go watch it.
Of course.
Like, if you haven't, I don't know how you haven't.
You might as well. I mean, some of you younger kids might be a bit weirded out that, like, Batman's there, but, you know.
But, brilliant film. One of the bests. Amazing.
Brilliant book as well.
Yeah. It's actually one that I haven't got a physical copy of. I need to. I've also completed the Mad Max game that's on PS4.
Oh, yeah, you did that.
Yeah. I will say the driving is brilliant. Very fun. The combat is a bit simple, but they put in some variation there. It's just every once in a while it can just get a bit tedious. And overall, it's fun, but stretched too thin.
How long are we talking?
Well, I mean, if you're going for all the collectibles, you're going to be so tired and bored by the end of it, because it's kind of collectathon style. Old school, but it's a bit annoying in some aspects.
I mean, that can be annoying if the whole point of the game isn't to be a collectathon.
Oh, no, the whole point of the game is basically you're building up your supercar. And which is fun.
What you would want to do after seeing Mad Max Fury Road.
Exactly. There is a great part of the game which is very Mad Max Fury Road, in which you're taking down a whole like convoy full of cars in a massive truck. But when you've got a certain weapon, it's just simple, easy, and it just takes the fun out of it.
It's funny we're speaking about cars and there goes a plane over the studio as we record, but you know
it's getting angry.
That goes to show how powerful this mic is, but you know, whatever. So you had fun with the game though.
Yeah, I think one of the best bits was I was doing a normal convoy mission, and just randomly the weather changed and a massive sandstorm and lightning popped in, so it made it even more fun. So the randomness of that was good, but
that's cool.
It just gets a bit tedious over time.
Is it worth adding to the very limited like collection of PS4 and Xbox One games
I would say so, yeah. As long as you're playing through the story, having fun with that, and not bothering about collecting things, I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
If it seems like the right game for you, I guess would be best to say. And I guess the main one you want to talk about?
Oh, there's two, actually.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Infamous Second Son I completed as well.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So I've basically got one PS4 game left, which is Final Fantasy Type 0.
Yeah.
But Infamous Second Son, I enjoyed. It seems a bit rushed, however. Very small map.
You wouldn't expect. I wouldn't expect to hear the words "rushed" coming out from a PS4 release game.
Yeah,
You think they would have had
title.
enough time? Yeah.
Yeah, but very small map. I'd say very few missions, and the story seems not paced well. But I liked the characters, even one that a bunch of gamers got butthurt over, because he was a shut-in kind of gamer character. But people got pissed off with him. I liked him. He was fine.
Change your freaking image. If
Exactly.
you're getting that upset, then you may need to do something about your life.
There was one line I can understand people getting pissed off, where the main character's saying, life isn't all about games. Go out and do something else. It's like, I'm playing your game. You really want to put that message?
But that goes without saying to some extent.
Yeah.
I think all hardcore gamers know when to take a break.
Yeah, I agree. And overall, it was really fun. The powers were fun. I think one thing that proves how rushed it is the subtitles don't match up to the dialogue a lot. It seems like they used the script for the subtitles. And obviously, sometimes you go off script and that gets put in instead. So, yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing, actually.
That's not... Wow, there's a plane actually going over this house. This is very rare for two to go over the studio so close to each other.
It's very strange,
Very
actually.
strange. We apologise if it's that much of an inconvenience.
Yeah.
But, will you be getting the DLC?
What, First Light?
Yeah.
I am planning on it if I can find the physical copy.
Yes.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna get that.
Yeah. I heard that is just more.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, good in your situation.
I wish it was based on a different character. I mean, I liked Fetch.
She's in the game, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it was based off the character called Celia, who has paper powers and origami. She is amazing. She's in a kind of exclusive set of missions that you do with a mixture of in-game and on your laptop, where you're doing investigation stuff. It's pretty in-depth.
Paper power, so does she turn into paper?
No, she creates she can fold paper to ridiculous amount of degrees where they can literally cut and kill people.
Oh, okay.
And she can kind of fold into and out of places in a way, and she's got a cool origami bunny mask. Pretty damn cool.
You need to show me that character.
I will. She's badass as hell.
As soon as you say mask and bunny, it's like I'm down for it.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you're the bigger one, I guess.
Yeah, the biggest one.
3.
I saw X-Men Apocalypse. The film was okay. There's quite a few things wrong. Jennifer Lawrence is a big one. She's still not acting, and throughout most of the film, I'm Jennifer Lawrence, not Mystique. Even though the whole point of Mystique in these films is you've got to show you're a mutant. Yeah. So... I
mean, shouldn't Mystique be Mystique, if anything? Shouldn't she be like...
Full blue.
Yeah. I'm proud of who I am. I think after, 8 films... Yeah. I think... I understand this is a reset of the universe, soft reboot. Technically, you could say this is a 3rd film. Yeah. But even now... I would argue, no, she should be comfortable being a mutant. And that's now.
Even in the 1st and 2nd film featuring Jennifer Lawrence, she said, no, you should show who you are. You should be a mutant. So the actress is directly conflicting with the character.
She's getting too much control because I think the studio thinks she's a selling point.
Oh, they're trying to push her as the main character.
Which I don't think she is. Wouldn't it be Fassbender and...
Fassbender and McAvoy.
Yeah, well, I would say they are the real stars. They're the real ones you go and see, if anything.
They put so much effort in. They are amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
they're amazing. So you weren't a fan of the film?
I was a fan of aspects of the film, but in total, no. Storm was great, but she gets very limited actual stuff to do. Like, at the beginning, there's some of her. Then, halfway through, she's just minion to Apocalypse, and then doesn't really do anything. Yeah. Like, she's cool, what she does is cool, but you don't see much of her doing Storm, in a way.
Do you think Fox came in and went, well, we got a sequel coming up, so maybe we should just save that for later?
And
put in EA.
Pretty much, yeah. I will say Nightcrawler was fantastic. I was actually blown away. I really liked him.
By what? The actor? Yeah. Special effects?
Yeah. The actor and the effects, like even with the weird emo haircut, it looks great.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, like I really loved it. I think
I forget he doesn't have his like old school outfit, does he?
No, but he does have a reddish kind of coat thing that kind of.
Does it have a bit of white on it as well?
Yeah, I can't remember the white, but he's got a very Michael Jackson red jacket.
Okay, that makes
sense. Which
sense.
looks great.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, what this takes place in like
83.
83, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I loved that. I thought it went so well with the character too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Good to know they did some pop cultural referencing, which is good. But Yeah, I never really was interested in seeing this film, and I mean, I don't really intend to go see it, but I guess it is a bit of a disappointment for those who were hoping for, I guess, was the last one, Days of Future Past, which was a pretty good film.
Yeah. And fun fact, even though that film rebooted, this still somehow managed to link back to X-Men 3 Last Stand.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
Exactly. And it was like, why are you showing a flashback to that film?
A flashback as well? Oh, no.
Well, it's a weird thing. It's kind of a half flashback, half reality-altering mind thing. It's very strange. Yeah.
That's not good. It was like, we're not covering this on the podcast, but the Star Trek Beyond trailer too.
Oh, yeah.
And they showed a lot of scenes and referenced a lot of the first film, and I was like, what about Into Darkness? Didn't some pivotal moments happen in that? No.
Just pretend that film don't exist.
No, remember the first film? It's like, oh.
It's generally accepted as good.
Yeah. Alright, well, that's good. I mean, as for me, I didn't really do too much. I've been very busy with, I got 2 hand-ins. As of the time and the day this podcast goes up, I would have pretty much dealt with one. So that's why I haven't really done anything other than finishing Nichuji, the anime I talked about last time. Fantastic series. The second half, if you want, of it kind of has a little bit more of a story, but it's not to the point where it becomes awful.
Okay.
It's just, hey, a bit of plot happens, and it's not like, let's stop being a funny, cute, ironic anime and let's focus on plot. It's more like, hey, here's a bit of story.
Okay.
Now back to the anime.
That's pretty cool.
Which is fine. I highly recommend the series if you haven't already watched it. I'm pretty sure just typing it in, you'll see the you've seen it.
Yeah.
If you're into anime, you've seen it. Right, so shall we start with topics? And I'm looking at you, Ace, because you've got the first one and arguably maybe the biggest one regarding us.
The one that just makes everyone squee in unison as soon as
they
hear it.
The one that destroyed the internet for about 24 hours.
Yeah, so they released the trailer for Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'm waiting for your screams. I can hear it over the, in the comments. Oh wait, that's silence. No, Pokemon Sun and Moon. It looks fun. First thing I can say. We get introduced to the new starters. Do you want to talk about the starters now, or should I go through the whole thing first?
Yeah, because I got some notes to drop in, later on. So go on.
Okay. We've got the new region being Alola, which I love the name of.
Hawaiian themed.
Yeah. The character customization is back. From X and Y with a new skin tone.
Yeah, we got a new. Did they highlight that in the trailer? I don't think they did.
I think they show the 4 because in X and Y there was 3.
Okay.
So they've got the more darker tanned one, which is very Hawaiian skin tone, which I like. And also, I don't think it showed it, but it is something that's been said. You can transfer data from the Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue onto this game.
Makes sense.
Which is brilliant.
Which is good, yeah. I was really happy with this trailer overall. They delivered on the promise of, giving us a look at Gen 7 and it's running on the engine from X and Y, which is pretty good, and having the customization back is good, and I also like the fact that the clothes kind of have that holiday beach sea Hawaiian film, which is it's a nice touch. I think the main thing that got people really I guess salivating would be the starters. So let's go for them real quick. Do you want to go for them?
Yeah. Right. So first we have Rowlet, which is a grass flying type, very adorable little bird with a green leaf bow tie.
Everyone loves this owl.
I freaking love it. This is my favourite.
This was what destroyed the internet. Everyone was like, that owl though.
Yeah.
Literally.
If that was in real life, that would be a Pokemon I'd need. You'd have that and Eevee and I'm set, really.
I mean, it is adorable, and I think all 3 of them do fit into the Pokemon. There wasn't one that was like, oh, that looks like a Digimon or something.
Yeah.
But I think he's great. I mean, got a nice kind of mixture being flying grass. I don't think we've had that in a while.
Tropius is the last one I can remember.
Only one I can think of, but even then I was very surprised that thing could learn fly.
Yeah, so was I. I mean, I understand the weird helicopter leaves, but it looks too big for that to be supported.
Mind blown back in 2003.
Exactly. But not a dinosaur can fly.
I guess, yeah.
Next, we've got Poplio, which is the water circus seal, and I think it's quite adorable. This is the one people seem to like the least, though.
People really don't like this one. I don't know why.
I love it. It's got a cute little circus nose, and
I think he's nice, and I think they're gonna do some great things with him, because I don't know if there's gonna be a theme with Gen 6.
Yeah.
because I can't really... Cause
Gen 7.
Gen 7, sorry, yeah. I can't... Because with this one, he's circus themed, but the other ones don't seem to have that feel too much.
I got the kind of circus feel, like, let's say Rowlet, with the whole bow tie, if it continues evolution, it could be a very smart kind of ringmaster for a circus, where it'd have the full cape, maybe, and that kind of stuff.
Maybe.
That, and then Litten, which we're going to talk about in a second, could be, like, performing tiger.
I'm guessing, I mean... Piplio he's fine. I mean, I like him. I might just pick him just because no one seems to, which is strange. He looks, out of the three, he looks like he's the one who could be the more unique one out of them in a sense.
I mean, Poplio is my second choice. It's my second favourite.
Let's move on to my favourite, Litten.
Yeah, Litten, the lit kitten.
Yeah, the fire cat.
Yeah.
I really like this one.
Yeah.
It's another cat Pokemon, but I mean, it's interesting. It looks nice. It looks like it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be something really badass when it gets to its third evolution. And I think I will pick this one most of anything. But that was just a start. Just a quick thing. I'd like to say I really like the way they kind of do the picking of the starters this time. I like the fact that this is some guy, some Hawaiian dude is like, there's the starters, and you can like go up to them, pick them, see them, and all that, which is nice. As opposed to the original, like them just being in a Pokeball and you're not really, at first sight knowing which one it is. I like this approach. I like this. It's got a more of a personal touch to it. I think, which is good.
It really does. I do want to say Litten, I do have some problems with. And this is just me. I like simplistic design. And that's my thing. I don't like the whiskers. I don't like the eyes, and I don't like the face marking, and that puts me off of it.
First time I saw that face mark on its forehead, I thought it was the logo that Akuma has on his back, and I was like, damn, he's gonna start doing some shadow stance stuff, I
thought it was the gold like cross plot item from Gun.
I think people theorize it looks very similar to the element of Brimstone.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be a Brimstone Pokemon. I mean, it breathes fire, so that's fine. I mean, I think it looks fine. I think...
I that's just my personal design thing, so...
As long as it doesn't go too overboard with its next evolution. I mean, if we just get tons of crap just thrown on their second evolution, then it's like, but...
we don't want to repeat a Gen 5 here.
No, I mean... I think they'll be tame with it, to be honest.
We don't want another Oshawott. That's the main thing.
Oshawott was just like... I mean, as cool as it was like, huh?
To be honest, the idea of an otter Pokemon, I am happy for. But I hate every single part of the Oshawott family. I hate it all. Samurott looks like a Digimon. Oshawott's evolution...
No, its third evolution is weird.
Yeah.
It feels like you missed a step with that one, but I like its first two.
I don't like either of them. It's honestly my least favourite of the starters. Yeah.
That's some bold words.
Yeah.
Usually people go back to Gen 5 with worse starters, but they're great.
I like the Gen 5 starters when they're like the younger ones. But I don't like the older ones. Like some of them.
Third, yeah.
Yeah, I think Tepig I've got problems with the most, like mostly.
Tepig looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
He does. But, and I guess the one other thing we should mention, which was in this trailer, is the fact that we got to see the legendaries as well. Sun and Moon legendary.
Yeah.
The...
Lion and Bat, I guess?
I'm guessing, the lion being the sun and the bat being the moon, which I really like their designs. They look like legendaries, which is good.
Yeah, they do look like legendaries. They do look a lot less like super god stuff, which I don't like super god stuff in Pokemon.
They look like legends. They look like something you would see on a painting going, oh.
So, something mythical.
Which is good, and I like the fact that they fit into the sun and moon nicely. I was kind of worried that it'd be kind of something stupid, like it's literally a sun or literally a moon.
Yeah, like Solrock or Lunatone.
I mean, I actually wonder if they'll actually even be in there.
To be honest, I think they will be somewhere. Like, there'll be a gym leader maybe that has
They might take them out just to be like, well, we've already got a sun and moon Pokemon, so we don't want to confuse the people.
Yeah.
But, so this is a quick refresher. I mean, honestly, it goes without saying, I think we can't wait for this.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
November 18th.
Yeah.
I'll be ready.
I'm going to be playing my copy of Pokemon Red on my 2DS.
I'm so happy that by that point I would have finished with my current studies.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can finish Fire Emblem and then go straight into this, and then if there's time, Yokai Watch as well.
Oh yeah, I still need to get that as well.
Those are the three
There was that
RPGs
I think LX, like little battlers or something that had little robots that was interesting, but I've never seen anything about it recently.
I don't know. Alright, well, let's move on to the next story, which I have, which is a pretty interesting one, and that is the possible war on memes in Mexico. So, a Mexican lawmaker that goes by the name of Martha Horta Rodriguez. I'm not too sure. Sorry if I've mispronounced your name.
It's Rodriguez, yeah.
Rodriguez. I mean, I'm not too sure. The lawmaker is essentially trying to, who is a lawmaker within the ruling party. She wants to present a bill that basically, hopefully if it's passed, basically criminalizes people who make and post memes, or memes, as I'm sure she'll probably call
Memes.
it. Memes.
Yeah.
Memes. It's memes, guys.
Yeah.
I know it's not really a real word, but it's memes.
No, meme is a real word. Meme is the repeating of something.
For a lot of people, hearing the term in a more like common sense,
modern.
Yeah, they would just assume it's meme.
Yeah, because meme comes from memetic, which means to copy and show, like push forward in a way. Yeah.
You always learn something in this podcast.
See, I'm full of etymology here.
That's why we have you here, and also you're a cool dude.
Oh, thank you.
So basically, you're probably wondering, what could be the punishment for posting a harmless meme? And that could lead you in up to 4 years in prison and a fine of $2,000.
Yes, a pretty harsh considering it's just a repeated image.
Yeah, her statement, she's basically trying to prevent harmful and humiliating images from being circulated on the internet.
Her safe space is getting invaded here.
Apparently, which I thought was quite interesting because after this news kind of broke, she herself then became a meme.
Yes.
Which is essentially just an image of her with the word "no memes."
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's going to catch on as much as The Boy or I guess Pepe or any other, Jordan crying or whatever kind of meme you want to put in there. But I think it's pretty funny that this woman is worrying about trying to tackle feelings on the internet when she should be trying to, do something for the people. I mean, she is within government and political power to actually possibly try and fight for better rights, and people have challenged her and said, yeah, there are bigger problems in the world than you not liking or, I'm guessing, understanding the internet.
Yeah. I mean, especially within Mexico where there are high crime rates. Help your people there. Maybe put more into youth people.
If you're a perfect society, sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you can look into maybe not as harsh as this, but maybe don't post, nasty.
Yeah. Or at least teaching people to, it's a joke,
She could have spun it in a much better way and saying it was bullying. Let's try and stop bullying.
Yeah.
It may have come out as a bit more of a positive story, and a bunch of dumb idiots would have gone, we've got to support this.
Yeah.
Ugh. But just people, the second story of just misguided attempts at trying to change the world, or as you said, people threatened by, I guess, people trying to attack their safe space.
I think there's a great quote, and I'm gonna have to find out who it was and maybe put it in the get you to put it in the description.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes on with the biggest problem is when people are doing something for the greater good. Mm-hmm. That's horribly misquoted, but it's something along those ways, and she thinks she's doing it for the good, but it's not.
There have been a lot of stories that have been popping up like that as well, which we don't usually cover, because if we were to cover every story this podcast,
it'd be the political podcast instead.
It'd be the political podcast, and it'd be just too huge.
Yeah.
I just two quick examples. For example, there was a flight somewhere in America where a woman saw a man with a turban with a beard scribbling down an unknown language, to which she quickly alerted the captain and said, something suspicious going on.
Yeah.
They arrested the guy, under suspicion that maybe he was a terrorist. Turned out the guy was an Italian teacher writing down math equations. Yeah. Delayed the flight for 2 hours.
And then in less of a bigger one, there was the whole thing of our current mayor who's been elected. He's saying that there are too many white male, I think, train drivers, and that they need more gender equality for that. Which, no. I mean, he had a brilliant other idea, which is, I think it's called the bus topper fare or something. I can't remember the name. Where if you ride more than one bus within an hour, after the first bus, those journeys are free.
Cool.
That's genius, but the other one, stupid.
Yeah, I think everyone's just trying to get that gender equality
Yeah.
money or that notoriety. Oh, I'm fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably also wondering, if you look at the dates, why we ain't covering the Ghostbusters 2 trailer.
Oh, yeah.
That's because that is overblown and it's been talked to death. Anyone who has common sense already has their opinion, already knows it's dumb. That's all we're going to say about it. Not unless some real serious stuff happens regarding this film, or we actually need to talk about the real issues about this film, being what the hell is it?
Yeah,
Or bad practices within Hollywood.
And the fact that the only time I really laughed is because they made a Jaws reference, and that's not even a joke.
It wasn't even a joke. It was just them going, remember Jaws? To which all the 8-year-olds are going, no, I haven't seen Jaws. What's Jaws?
That's literally the only time I've laughed. Well, actually, there was the whole ghost thing with the boobs, and I laughed at that because I'm a juvenile.
That's you.
Yeah, exactly. I find stupid shit funny sometimes.
That's you. Word to advise, don't appeal to this guy, Hollywood.
I like intellectual jokes, but sometimes a stupid one or a pun, I can be gotten
You realise
easily.
there's such that disconnect with you.
I
It's
know.
like, I want my films smart, but at the same time, I want them at the lowest common denominator.
I like a mix.
Okay, well, if you can find that balance, sure. Right, so let's move on to our third story, which is the first trailer of 2 that we'll be covering. Ace, do you want to introduce this one and talk about it?
What, the Assassin's Creed trailer?
Yes.
Well, it has Michael Fassbender, and
And it's based off the
Assassin's Creed franchise.
The Assassin's Creed video game franchise by Ubisoft. So Ubisoft actually has been working with studios to actually produce this film, and we finally got the trailer, which I was surprised to see it come out so early. And just looking at it, it was actually better than I expected it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be really stupid, like the Hitman ones. But it looks like they're actually getting the idea right.
Yeah, they included a lot of elements from the game, and it looks like it actually could be fun, because a lot of the action set pieces and stunts look like actual, set pieces and stunts, as opposed to he's going to turn into a 3D CGI man.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which I'm sure there'll probably be that kind of stuff, but I do recall Fassbender has been doing some combat stuff to at least get into that kind of thing.
To get into the right shape for it.
I mean, this trailer was decent. It was nothing special. The one thing that really destroyed this trailer was the awful choice of music.
Oh,
which was
the Kanye one.
a song by Kanye West. I can only assume it's off the Life of Pablo album, because it just sounds so awful.
I think it's the one before that.
Yeezus?
It's from Yeezus. It's the song I Am God, or I Am a God, or something.
Because I've heard that song. It doesn't sound like that, as far as I can remember. But then again, I just removed that album from my mind and burnt the CD.
Yeah.
Like, not actually burn it from my mind, I actually burnt the CD, that's what I mean.
But that was a problem. And
that was bad.
I think the female actress the actress was Marion Cotillard or something. I think, and I have a lot of problems. Like, I think it's just me and French accents. I don't like them. Like, in some things.
I didn't like the way she delivered any of her lines or talked. I'm not sure what kind of direction that was, but that does not work for me. It was really weird. It felt like she was an alien.
Yeah. I mean, if she has a death scene, oh boy, this is going to be bad. I mean, that's the thing. If it is Marion, because I could be getting this wrong, but yeah.
Who knows? A wig can do so much.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I mean, the only other thing positive was the cinematography is actually surprisingly good. I was like, oh.
I think one problem, the costume, the hidden blades are on the outside.
Yeah, but I think that's just to kind of like, oh, look, there's where blades go.
But it's supposed to be hidden, It's not really hidden then.
No, but then I'm guessing having looking at some of the scenes, I'm guessing people know there's assassins around, so I guess there might not be much point hiding it, I guess. I mean,
they do have that logo on their hood.
I mean, and if there is a group of cloaked figures walking up to that politician or very famous person, I'm sure you can spot them out pretty easily.
It's very true.
Oh, well, I probably won't see this film. I know it comes out later this year, December, I believe, but it won't be. I don't think it'll be that good, and I don't think it'll do that well.
If it's December, it's going to get slaughtered by Star Wars.
It probably will, but then again, Rogue One doesn't really look like anything.
Oh yeah, but Star Wars fanboys.
You have to remember that's just the fanboys.
I know, but
you have to remember the masses as well.
True.
If the masses are going, is this Star Wars?
Yeah, it's also got the female audience with having again female protagonist.
So,
they're
that
more
did
likely
wonders
to...
for Ghostbusters, hasn't it?
Well, there are still those people that are going to see that. And there are
yeah.
going to be the idiots who are going to see it because they want to rip it apart, which it does at itself.
Don't go see the film, jeez.
I agree.
Don't go see the film, but whatever. I think Rogue One can just hurry up and move on. I honestly don't think the fans are that excited. They're just like, no, this will hold me over until the real film comes out, if anything.
I mean, I'm more excited for Donnie Yen and Forrest Whitaker for that film. They look good.
And then you can just get the Donnie Yen and Forrest Whitaker cut later on.
I'm just having all these people cuts in films.
All these cuts on Blu-ray. Aces cuts.
I should do that. I have my own DVD, Blu-ray releases.
If copyright wasn't such a touchy subject on YouTube, then we could definitely upload these things.
That's true.
Well, right. Let's move on to the next story, which I'm going to be covering, and that is the fact that Disney Infinity, the game which is very much like Nintendo's Amiibos or Skylanders, that's been cancelled, which is a bit of a surprise actually for me. I was, rather surprised it actually got cancelled, and also the fact that they will not be self-publishing games anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So this announcement basically came with the fact that they will be cancelling it because the charge of pretty much releasing games like Skylanders is going to cost them 147 million, which is which in the concern of I lost my thought, which essentially means that they're going to lose a lot of money when it comes to their earnings. It's a big loss for them. That's the loss. But at the same time, there is going to be at least 2 more packs before the game is, I guess, non-existent. There's going to be the Alice Through the Looking Glass pack and the Finding Dory pack, which comes out in June. But also regarding the whole thing that Disney won't be self-publishing games or being in the self-publishing business, they did have like a quote in which they kind of talked about going into a bit further detail, which was then kind of reevaluated in a sense. So I'm kind of going to read the slightly more reevaluated and updated story, which basically I guess is just coming from Disney. After a thorough evaluation, we have modified the approach to console gaming and will transition exclusively to licensed models. This shift will strategically mean we will cease production of Disney Infinity, where the lack of growth in the toys to life market capsule collapsed, where the life of market collapsed with high development cost, has created a challenging business model. This means that we'll be shutting down Advance, which I'm guessing was the studio who was behind Disney Infinity. Continuing, our internal studio that develops the game. This was a difficult decision that we do not take lightly, given the quality of Disney Infinity and the many passionate fans. So it is kind of a shame, because I did know there were quite a few gamers that did enjoy the game, would like to collect the toys, because I mean at the end of the day it's official Disney merchandise.
Exactly.
And I think also now I now have to go and get the Zootopia ones because they're basically now toys. Yeah. Because the game I can't remember if there is like an online only kind of thing to it, and if there is, that would be quite upsetting for anyone who is still playing the game, which I'm sure would younger audiences and collectors.
One thing I would like to say, considering they're not self-publishing their games, that means that they could get other studios to take on their franchises.
I'm just about to get to that. Yeah. So I was kind of thinking, I was wondering whether they would start just licensing out certain franchises to certain studios like they did with EA and Star Wars. Obviously, that didn't quite work out. Yeah. In terms of they didn't make a game. Would they do this with, the next every Disney release? Would they get one studio just to work on Finding Dory, or would they get, just one studio to do this or do that? Which kind of leads me to our next story, which you'll understand why it's linked in. And that is basically going off. There isn't, within the description where I put all the information, there isn't too much information on this, so this is kind of going on like opinion and just from what I've heard. So I'm sorry if this is a bit too inconsistent for some of you guys who like to actually go in and read some of the stories. So I'm basically talking about the success of Street Fighter V, something that I'm not sure if we covered too much.
I think we've referenced a few times about the lack of content.
Probably referenced, but essentially when the game first came out, it was said that the game had done fairly poorly, and a lot of other fighting games and other games had outsold it. Turns out that doesn't seem to be too much the case now, as the game has actually done pretty well, selling about 1.4 million. Just 600 under its predicted 2 million. So it did alright for its first situation. Capcom seems to be still kind of happy with this situation, but at the same time, one thing I wanted to bring up, Pokken Tournament Fighter outsold the game in physical retails, which is quite interesting, I must say. For Street Fighter to get outsold by a spin-off Pokemon game. I mean, don't underestimate Pokemon fans, Nintendo fans, but damn.
I know, getting beat in your own genre of game.
And they've been beat by quite a few games as well, being the Dragon Ball Z game, which was by Namco Bandai, and the Naruto, which I think was also Namco Bandai as well. Both those games are worth checking out. But I thought this was quite interesting. Also, the fact that we got a very interesting quote from Nintendo, and I couldn't quite find this quote, so I'm going to try my best to read this because I wasn't able to find this quote. So this is basically them regarding the sales of Street Fighter V. And that's basically them saying, we also possess the vast library of content in which there remains multiple IPs that have yet to be utilized to their full potential. Potentialness. Is that a word?
Potentialness? I think so.
It might be a typo. Potentialness issues we will handle moving forward. Moreover, we will endeavour in further profitable improvements. Sorry, because I'm reading this off a video and the time bar is literally right in the middle. And until sales growth, until sales growth by releasing all titles finished and of the high quality. So basically, what they're saying is, hopefully we're looking into maybe more of our library. Maybe we can make more games on that, and we're hoping that we can. And we're going to aim to finish games and have them at better quality, because Street Fighter V was of piss poor quality. I think most would agree. Hardly leapt in arcade mode, hardly any characters, and the way characters are being released, sure, they may be free in some kind of sense, is just a bit too slow for fans, especially when, if you want to try that character out, you've got a maximum of about 10 minutes to try them out, which is piss poor compared to, the three competitors we just listed, who, I mean, Pokken has a whole story arc, a whole arcade mark online that works from a Nintendo Wii U game.
Yeah.
Even Naruto. Everyone loves, I wouldn't say everyone, lots of people love Naruto. Yeah. And same thing with the other one I'm forgetting.
Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loves Dragon Ball. But I thought that was quite interesting, and I thought it would also bring it up. So would, having this be the situation where Disney's cancelled Infinity, they're also saying we're going to work, hopefully, with studios, or the idea that they're going to work with studios to get them to publish the games. And now Capcom's saying, our game didn't do too well. We're looking to further our library and do more and release better games. Just as an example, could we see Capcom and Disney team back up and kind of create that dream team once again?
That's highly possible. I mean, if they ever did a Marvel vs. Capcom game again, that would be pretty damn cool.
I think now that the Marvel Universe has really just gone boom, I think now would be a good time. Even if they were just to do a Marvel fighting game, or just imagine if they did a Civil War Capcom fighting game.
If they did a Marvel Civil War fighting, that'd be cool.
That would be fantastic. Even if we just get Darkstalkers or some of the other things fighting games, because Capcom does have a lot of fighting games under their belt. I mean, Marvel vs. Capcom is mostly made up of fighters in some sense.
Capcom have made some Marvel games before with X-Men. I think there was a Street Fighter vs. X-Men. There was a Marvel-based fighting game all on its own.
They made a lot of the arcade games with Konami as well, and also you have to consider Capcom did a lot of Disney's games, Jungle Book, Lion King, Aladdin, DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. They did those games. That was Capcom in their, some would argue, their prime when it came to the NES, SNES situation. So back
when they had Captain Commando.
Exactly. I love the whole fight over the rights of that character, but isn't it like DC's like, can we have the name back? And like,
what, Captain Commando?
Or am I thinking? No, I'm thinking of the whole situation with Shazam and Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah. Marvel and DC are having problems. They have problems. It's resolved now. Marvel have Captain Marvel. DC have Shazam.
But a couple of years ago, it was like, can we have that? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
It says Marvel.
They hate it.
We have that title.
Even though DC's Captain Marvel came first. That's the funniest part.
Yeah, that is a funny thing, but I guess it was just when tension started to rise and they got a little bit greedier, they were like, oh, we gotta get in on that.
That character's been sued 3 different times, like DC's Captain Marvel. It was first by DC themselves, because it was created by a different company, and it was basically a rip-off of Superman. Secondly, it was because the term Shazam, which I think was from the TV show MASH, like it was a phrase the character used.
Might be, yeah.
And then by Marvel because of their Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite amusing.
It is, but I'm hoping that we can just get some more good games, because as of recently, we've actually got some good games come out.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank, Doom, maybe Overwatch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Free games that I'm interested with.
Maybe there'll be videos going up about them. I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know. You might have to stay tuned, subscribe, look in the description. Download code every time the podcast goes up. You don't have to watch the video on YouTube. You can just download it straight away.
Yeah.
Along with the email, which is raccoonplusfriends@gmail.com. Any other questions in there. So, kind of reached almost the halfway mark. I'm going to talk about another story I have. It's another trailer. This time about a anticipated Netflix series.
Which I'm going to be binging.
Raccoon's looking forward to Netflix. Not quite, calm down. Voltron Legendary Defenders. Its official trailer was released. This is a DreamWorks and Netflix kind of collab. This is the third one they've done. There's a Peabody and Sherman one and a Meet the Croods one. This is their third one. And the fourth one, which is upcoming, which is the Troll Hunters. Which is being spearheaded by Guillermo del Toro. So, cannot wait for that one.
Yeah, I'm very interested.
So, we got the trailer for this, and I was surprised. I'm really digging it, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks really fun.
It looks like
very
everything
upbeat.
It looks perfect Saturday morning. I think what they're going for is, I think they're going for epic sci-fi, teen drama, anime, space battle adventure.
Yeah.
And that is perfect. That is what this reimagine. Well, it's not even really a remake in a sense. It's more just its own. It's just another take, really.
It's kind of a soft reboot in a way.
I mean, it looks great. I mean, the 2D animation looks spot on.
I have a small problem with the 3D animation, but I have that a lot with animes, because there is a little bit for the
massive
mechs.
disconnect. I understand you, but like real quick, the actual art style and the animation, the 2D animation reminds me a lot of Legend of Korra.
Yeah,
which is not a bad thing. It's a fantastic.
Yeah,
thing.
Legend of Korra is
and
very nice.
And the 3D animation, as much as we've seen, is good.
Yeah,
it might be one of the make or break points. It might be like, ooh, but at the same time, it probably feeds more into the whole Gundam Wing, Evangelion look that they may be trying to go for. Maybe even Power Rangers if you want.
Yeah.
But the only issues I have, I guess, you said 3D animation, that's understandable. The only issue I have is I'm not too sure about the voice acting.
Okay, I can understand that.
I'm hearing some like kind of hammy, very comical voices, and I'm hoping they don't go too overboard with that.
I'm actually fine with the hamminess. Like,
I just don't want them to go. I just don't want it to be too extreme, where it's the point of, whoa, I'm the wacky guy. I'm always gonna talk like this. I want it to make, if you're gonna have that wacky character, make sure he's a character, not the wacky character.
Yeah, I get you.
Give him some development.
Yeah.
Villains. I mean, it's a bit unfair. We didn't really see too much of them, but
not really.
I really hope they're good.
Yeah.
They're my biggest worry, because I don't want them to be lame. Where it's just like,
it's too easy to create a bad villain.
It's too easy. You gotta make a if you with this situation you need to make a villain that's evil but likable.
Yeah. Like charismatic.
In some sense. These two, the male villain kind of looks more like he's going to be a bit more like the guy who's going to be screaming, "Oh, get them! Take out Ultra!" While the woman's going to be like the more, "Oh,
yeah,
I'll get you, Ultra," that kind of thing. But really can't wait for this series.
Yeah, I'm very interested. It comes out on June 10th, so
very soon.
Podcast after that, you might hear about it from me.
Oh, definitely. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I mean, obviously, I'm going to watch it with legal means.
Of course. You can watch my Netflix.
Of course. And at the same time, I really hope they put this on DVD.
Yeah.
Please do. It's DreamWorks, so come on.
Because we still got that Marvel Netflix DVD problem going on.
Yeah, still waiting for Daredevil Season 1 on DVD, guys. Yeah. I will happily buy that and watch it. I'll even do a freaking review on it if I get the DVD.
I want it.
But it's like, everyone wants it. And it's just like, what's going on here?
I know. I can still watch it on Netflix. I binge-watched it again. I still like it. I want it on DVD.
Is that good?
Yeah, it really is.
Come on, Netflix.
Exactly.
I know you want to keep those exclusives, but come on. You can make a profit off releasing on DVD. What do you have to lose?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it's going to cost you a couple $100,000 to publish it.
And Orange is the New Black, Better Call Saul, we've mentioned, they're already on DVD.
They're already on there. Come on now. Come on, you don't necessarily own too much of the rights. It's still a Marvel Disney property. I know Disney are terrible with releases, but come on.
Yeah.
Come on. When you've got people going, this is the only reason you should get Netflix, you might want to stand to, widen that demographic and go, here's a DVD.
Yeah, it's very true.
I mean, it's not as if you're not going to make money. Put fucking Netflix on the top. Right. So, I believe you're taking the next story, which is actually pretty interesting. We actually kind of devolved into what the next two topics are going to be. Ooh, nice segue.
Exactly. So, AMC have ordered the documentary about the history of comics.
Mm-hmm.
A subject I am very fond of. I have many books containing the history, which I love. It will be helmed by Robert Kirkman, who you may know as the creator of Walking Dead, the comic books, and I think he was showrunner for season 1.
Yeah, I believe he was, yeah.
And Skybound Entertainment's David Alpert, which I don't know much about.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm guessing that the people are going to be behind the actual making of it, because AMC doesn't make anything.
No, they don't. Other people make it and they're just like, here, done.
They just, let's slap our name on it.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the money, you go make it.
I wouldn't even say here's the money. If you look at what happened with Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, can we take the money?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You only just started filming? Well, can we take more of that money? Can we cut that budget? Because we want more. What do you want it for? We just want it.
They want it for some fangs and some stuff.
Thanks.
That I laughed too much at that in Walking Dead. It was too good.
Thanks. Anyway, continue.
It should be coming out in 2017 from what they said. Each episode will be 1 hour. They didn't reveal how many episodes. And
6.
6. Oh, okay.
6-part series, 1 hour long each.
Okay. I didn't see it say the series length. The comic book medium that is going to go on would be the pop culture, the politics, race, gender, and sexuality within comic books.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot of stuff. I can imagine there's going to be a hefty section on the 70s and 80s that I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah, I would love just to see a 1 hour episode just on that period.
Yeah, so do I, because you're going to see the Green Arrow, Green Lantern heroine comic, which had Speedy addicted. You can have the whole Spider-Man stuff, which was the one that got rid of the comic code. That's how good it was.
Yeah. I hope they talk about that Spider-Man one where he didn't quite make it to that guy like hooked on crack in time, and he's like kind of just holding the guy, and he's like, oh no, I didn't quite make it. That's a great like
that's the one. Yeah,
that's perfect in a sense,
because they weren't allowed to mention drugs, so Marvel were like, no, get rid of the comics code. We're doing this comic.
Yeah,
it's great. Kirkman had this to say: at the end of the day, I'm a comic fan first and foremost. I'm a lover of the medium and the stories it enables people to tell. I'm excited to partner with AMC once again to bring the stories of some of the most influential people in comics to a television audience.
Perfect.
I am looking forward to this. I'm excited.
Can we get a DVD release as well?
Yes, exactly. They should be a bit better.
I'm really happy that this is being done, because this is not only going to be just a great resource of information for the masses who are maybe just getting into comics or know a little bit about, even the people who just kind of go, oh, well, comics, that's just Marvel and DC. No.
Yeah, I mean...
There is so much in this medium.
You need your image, you need your top cow, your IDW.
Exactly. You need just, adaptations as well. You need to go into that kind of thing. I mean, and this would also be a good kind of helpful thing for even, hardcore readers as well.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you'll learn something.
I do wonder if they're even going to mention that Marvel was originally called Timely Comics and DC was called National Comics. I'd be very interested.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of forget that in a sense, but I can't wait. I mean, it's something positive that's actually going to happen, which is always good. Always good to me.
It can teach all the people.
Kind of continuing with positive. You have the next story as well.
Yeah, so in the recent fallout with the Batman v Superman film, DC and Warner Brothers have decided to put in some changes.
Finally.
And they're understandable changes.
Yeah.
For what they've said, they're going to get John Berg and Jeff Johns to course correct the DC cinematic universe.
So John Berg, who was the current exclusive VP at DC and Warner Brothers, and Jeff Johns, who is DC's chief content officer. He's responsible for a lot of the production and greenlighting that goes on with the TV series, which people talk so much about.
And he was involved in 3 comic books, which, tons of comic books, but these 3 are notable, and I recommend people to read them.
Good.
Batman Earth 1, a very nice, different origin story in which it's a lot different. It also includes a character that I think they should have more, called the Birthday Boy. That's his only appearance.
Oh yeah, I've heard you talk about that character.
He needs to be in more stuff. Blackest Night, which is one of the Green Lantern comics everyone needs to own. Even if you don't like Green Lantern, it's a very good story.
Buy it.
Yeah, and 52, which is one of my favorites of all time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can tell he's got good.
He did a lot of stuff in New 52 in general, anyway, didn't he?
Oh, not New 52, Original 52.
Original 52, excuse me. Because
he did New 52 as
there
well.
is now a new reboot of DC going at the moment.
DC Rebirth.
They even changed their logo as well, which is just a bit like confusing.
But what is John Berg also does have a connection to Ben Affleck, so they're going to get along fine.
Yeah, they're working on solo Batman, right? Or is that someone else?
I don't know if they're working on that together, but they have worked on stuff before, such as Argo and I think it's Live by Night, which is just finishing.
Okay, yeah, I've not heard of that one.
And one of the other things, which I thought they would have already done, is they're going to separate executive producers and stuff by genres.
Yeah.
Because before they just had people just basically executive over everything.
Because from what we can gather, it was just a table of people making decisions, just going, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and that's
for every
way
genre.
Too messy. I mean, this goes just beyond like DC. I mean, it's good that you can organize DC because let's be fair, it's bringing Warner Brothers in a big profit, but kind of just having this, I'm happy for this change, and I'm glad that they're actually just letting people who they're trying something new, and at the same time they're trusting others instead of just these, I guess,
the corporate suits.
These corporate suits that I guess don't see anything other than money, and you need people who can see other things, or you need to let those people who are in the creative industry or the production industry, you need to listen to these people because they are what is going to get you more of that money. Yes, not every film is going to turn out great, and not everyone is going to like that film that you poured your heart, soul and whatever into, but at the same time, look at risks that have happened over the last couple of years. Let's look at like Mad Max. That was a big risk. That was a sequel after how many years? Fantastic film, everyone loved it, did really well. Look at even
Deadpool being an R-rated comic book movie.
Deadpool. Look at Zootopia. That's a film that a lot of people, even kids, may be like, oh, it's really very similar to our world animal film. Even Batman v Superman, look at that film. They tried to do something new, and because it was just all over the place, that reflected in some way.
I think it was less they were trying to do something new, more that they were trying to amalgamate 3 separate stories without understanding them.
Just 3? Wow, you're being generous.
It was mostly 3.
They were trying to set up like 10 films.
Oh, well, they were trying to set up other stuff, but the story they were telling was 3 different stories all mixed. The setup was I tried to ignore that stuff.
It's okay, DC. You can look at your competitors. You can do that. It's all right to do that. It's okay to go and look at Marvel and go, oh, they do it like this.
I mean,
maybe
even
we should...
look at Fox as well. I mean, their stuff isn't the best besides Deadpool, but they have some good stuff.
They have something.
Yeah, I mean,
something better than you.
Yeah, X-Men Apocalypse is better than Batman v Superman, despite how good Ben Affleck was.
I think Batman v Superman at this rate might be regarded as one of the worst films of this year right now.
I don't know, Norm of the North. You kind of forget that.
That's true, but that's so forgettable. That's a nothing film, and that's what you don't want your film to be.
Those first 5 minutes are burned.
At least Batman v Superman will be remembered as being just the one of the biggest messes.
I'll still remember it as Ben Affleck was good. That's my memories of it.
But at least you have that. With Norm of the North, it's like, what do you even say about that?
I kind of die a little inside.
Exactly. You don't quite die when you watch Batman v Superman. You just kind of get frustrated and annoyed.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, gosh. But, I mean, hopefully we can get a actual, kind of rivalry going on between Marvel and DC, because it's really one-sided at the moment. I mean, they've got Suicide Squad, and that's kind of it for them. They're done, other than Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is being released way too late. They need to
November.
They need to bring this up. They need to release that first week in November, or they're going to be in trouble. Yeah. I mean, Harry Potter, but it doesn't say Harry Potter on the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Does not. Fantastic Beasts does not scream.
I mean, all the Harry Potter fans, obviously, again, the majority fandom, they're going to go see this.
But at the same time, fans will only do so much. Just look at Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
General audiences were turned away once they saw the film and went, it's crap.
Yeah.
It can happen to any film. Rely on your fans, but you got to also... The best thing to do, I guess the way I'd say it was, always trust and support your fans, and then worry a little bit about that mass, because usually the mass will follow once their friend who's into that says it's a good film or something like that.
I'm actually kind of wondering about Fantastic Beasts, because one of the things is in the plot of the books is that Hermione herself translated the book when she was older.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I do wonder if she's going to show up at any point, maybe...
Narration?
Yeah, maybe at one point, maybe at the beginning, her and Dumbledore, because Dumbledore leaves the book to her. So I'm wondering if anything like that's going to happen.
Might be in the intro shot, perhaps. Yeah. That could be a nice way
like at the start and the end to her children.
Could be a nice way of linking it there, you know, without it being too obvious or terrible.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right. Ready to move on to the last story?
Oh, the best story.
Yeah. This is
I want to do a Trump impression, you know, China, but
China.
Yeah, China bans erotic banana eating live streams, and that is the best sentence I've said this week.
I think so. I heard a better one, but I'm not going to repeat it. But yeah. So essentially, what seems to be happening is that the Chinese government is going to be essentially trying to, I guess, basically monitoring certain streaming sites, looking to try and ban particular females who they would suggest are under the age of 18.
Well, some of them. They didn't say all of them.
Well, I think that was how they're going to spin it. They're going to go, oh, we need to stop these underage girls from doing this. And yes, there are underage girls who will do inappropriate and acts like this in a sense, but you have to remember there are more like-minded people who are going to do this because they can.
Yeah.
I'll say why in a sec, but basically they want to stop them from, they want to stop this filming of them eating bananas in a seductive way.
And this also, what they were trying to say is they want the live stream sites themselves to monitor them, to get them to make sure people aren't doing this.
Round the clock monitoring to make sure none of this erotic or inappropriate and erotic, I guess, behavior.
Online content.
Yeah.
They also want to ban people from wearing stockings and suspenders on the live streams as well.
I don't know where that came from.
Apparently, because it's part of the sexual content.
Not really. I mean...
Yeah.
It's fucking long socks.
I know, but that's one of the things as well. One of the justifications they give is that it harms social morality. Yeah. I picked out 2 quotes from people who were responding to this, and I love them.
Go ahead.
One of them being, how do they decide what's provocative when eating a banana?
Exactly.
And the other one was, they will all start eating cucumbers, and if that's not good, yams.
Exactly.
So, you're just going to end up banning people from doing everything. And
exactly. What happens if they just grab something that's not even eatable?
Yeah.
And they just, lick it or whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not a toy. It's not a toy, and it's not a fruit. What do you do then? What if a bunch of people do this just to piss them off?
Exactly.
And what do you do? Are you going to freak out and go, oh no, I have to ban that?
Yeah. And then someone else was saying, well, what if it's men that do this as well? So...
Men could very easily do this if they wanted to. I mean, here's the thing. I'm actually not surprised by this because, fun fact, the Chinese government has a pretty strong ban on Western pornography, which you might think is quite weird, the fact that you can actually go to jail or get fined for having it, and I don't know why this is. Obviously, you should be well aware, China has a lot of restrictions on what people can do.
It's a very communist society. Pretty much,
and it's, of recent years kind of got a little better and then kind of digressed back, in a sense, and the way I see it is their leaders are just very paranoid.
They are. It's very authoritarian.
They're getting ready for a war that no one wants to start any beef with China. Not because anyone's scared of them. It's just like, well, I guess we'll leave you alone then.
Yeah, I mean, it's also China is a very big market when it comes to merchandise and entertainment. So they don't want to piss them off there either.
Well, I mean, even if they did piss off the Thais and it was like, right, we're not accepting anything from them. I mean, I hope this doesn't sound racist, but it's like, we'll just go to Japan.
Yeah. I mean, one thing, Deadpool managed to work well without China, so... Yet again...
But they banned Zootopia in China.
Yeah. And Zootopia did very well as well. It's one of the highest rated, highest performing films this year. I think it's the second one this year.
Yeah, I believe... Yeah, because I was just going to mention that... I don't know if I mentioned this before, but originally it was Kung Fu Panda, but then it got destroyed by Zootopia, because obviously pandas... their national treasure in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was just really. Just once again, it just goes back to a waste of time when there are slightly more important issues. I'm not saying that the Chinese government should go in and kind of address these issues, because whether countries like England or America are in the right to say to a country, hey, you shouldn't be treating your people like that, when you see the amount of bullshit that goes on in both these two countries when it comes to freedom of speech and treating people right.
Yeah, it's very true.
A quick Google search on anything regarding Black Lives Matters, any kind of protest, anything that regards fairness is equally met with a good beating or a good insult.
Yeah. There was the whole Trigglypuff incident as well at Milo's speech, which, I mean, say what you want about Milo. I think he's a good person. He's got good views.
Which Milo is this?
This is the Milo who's got his whole views on freedom of speech and is like, yes, we need our freedom of speech.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the rapper.
Oh, no. I don't know who that is. But Milo was actually English. He's English and he went to America.
Well, so he was English. What did he
I know.
Change his ethnicity.
I realised my phrasing, but
is he pushing that now?
Exactly. But no, he had a speech on, obviously, like, a lecture in a way on freedom of speech. And this woman showed up, who was very into modern day social justice and gender politics, identity politics.
And seemed to get triggered quite fast.
Yes, and she's been labelled Trigglypuff. She kept shouting, screaming, was told if she continued she'd leave, and then she said that's not freedom of speech then. It's like, well, we're giving you warnings here.
Yeah.
There's a difference. So...
It's like, yeah, sure, you have the freedom... Sure, you can express your freedom of speech, but when you're being an inconvenience to others...
Yes.
Another issue is brought up immediately.
Exactly.
You know, I see a lot of these Americans where they're like, I guess trying to break the law in some sense, but it's like, no freedom of speech, you can't do that. There is a great one which I'm not going to link because it's just pathetic and annoying to watch, but there's a great one where this guy's trying to get past some security guards, and they're like, oh, you can't take a camera. He's like, oh no, why can't I take my camera? It's freedom of speech, it's in America. Why are you going to stop me there? He's like, John, I'm going to report you if you do this. So then they fucking tase him. And it's like, okay, that's understandable.
Yeah.
You were being an inconvenient and you were making yourself look like a dumbass.
Yeah. And then there was like the girl who tried to get away with stealing a car and driving around, saying that she's one of the free people, which isn't even a legal law anymore. So, like, basically a free people being someone that's not American, that doesn't have to abide by American rules.
I haven't heard that time in a while. She must have been searching for that.
Yeah,
good.
I think 1776. So, yeah.
Something, you know, I don't think that person ever listened during history.
No.
So I'm surprised they even would be able to reference something like that. They must be delusional.
And the video is very interesting considering how calm and conserved the police officer is. He does everything by the book. And yet she keeps saying how she's going to report him. She starts screaming rape at one point when he's trying to arrest her.
Of course, because there are some very conniving people out there who... and it just links back to the whole issue between like people getting triggered and equality between genders. Yeah, sure, a lot of men are fucking arseholes.
Yeah,
but at the same time, a lot of women are fucking arseholes. Yeah. You have to remember that. That is the equality.
I think Philip DeFranco or something, a YouTuber, he said, bitches are bitches, and that doesn't mean women are bitches. Men could be bitches too.
Exactly.
I love that. It's brilliant.
There's plenty of guys like that, and I think one of the issues with like this kind of the women actually fighting the good fight versus the women who are delusional as to what the good fight is that there are these women and guys who are manipulating these stupider people and getting away with stuff. Like, for example, a woman could easily get a man in prison for just accusing rape because everyone would just immediately go, well, he's a man, of course he did this. But at the same time, women will then say, well, men always objectifying us sex objects. It's like, no, just look at anything to do with your advertising has a man without a shirt. That would be a little bit upsetting for a guy who doesn't have a six-pack or doesn't have the ladies all over him,
Yeah, again, it's just
you talk about equality. There is equality. It's just fucking corrupt.
Yeah, it's a stupid kind of equality.
And it's not going to change until you people realize that there is, a little bit of truth in what we're saying. We are not spilling the truth, but,
That's the thing. The only way it's going to change in any way is if you get to the positions to change it yourself.
Exactly.
Instead of moaning about it.
Moaning will get you only so far.
Yeah.
Hence why we're not politicians in America.
Exactly.
Because trust me, I'm pretty sure 2 guys sitting here in a studio recording a podcast could probably make a bigger change than any dumbass politician in America at this rate. But, you know...
You know, I mean, one of the first things I'd do, okay, as any sort of politician, if I was there, legalization of marijuana and heavily tax the hell out of that.
Exactly, you'd be rolling in money.
Exactly. You'd make such a boon to your economy, plus you'd be getting rid of a lot of crime when it's considered with drug dealers.
You know how many people get shot and killed for weed?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, the war on drugs is still going, but you need to remove weed from there. I mean, yeah, if you want to get messed up by weed, go ahead. I'll happily take your money.
Exactly. And it's one of the things of course there are going to be rules. They're not going to allow people to smoke weed and drive.
It's like there's a line from, I'll have to spin it a little bit, but there's a line from Tyler the Creator when he's talking about being a drug dealer.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, you should have thought about that before you supersize my fries with that dollar.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, oh, you're going to complain to me about the fact that I killed your so-and-so, but you should have really thought about what the consequences are going to be. Don't get angry at me. I just supply it.
Yeah, it's very true.
You know what I mean? But... I mean, this is way big of an issue, and I don't think it's going to get resolved anytime soon. Not with Gamergate. And, I don't know. It's hard to really classify. The people who get triggered...
There was Metalgate as well.
The what?
Metalgate. There was a whole controversy around like lyrics in metal songs. There was a band called Black Pussy, and people were trying to ban their name because apparently they said it was harmful towards black women, which it wasn't. They kept the name.
Okay, I'm sorry to get, like, kind of graphical on people, but, like, have they ever seen a vagina?
No.
Because what you would regard as the pussy is not black. It never is.
I know.
And if it is, please go to your doctor immediately.
But that's the thing. It's literally just the name. That's it.
The vagina is not what is your skin colour.
I know.
I'm not trying to correct you. I'm just trying to
It's literally just a band
people.
name.
There's worse band names, worse album covers, and it's kind of dumb.
It really is.
It's incredibly stupid. But let's move on and kind of end this podcast with something which isn't dumb. Something which is 2 things actually,
and not political as well.
Not too political, which is awesome. Now, just as a quick funny story, we did have a bit of a situation where it was like, oh, this one's going to be the video of the episode, and it was like, no, this one's going to be, and then I know you messaged me a few days before we actually, you know, sat down here and recorded, and was like, oh, but can't it be both? And I was like, yes it can.
Literally, why not both?
It was like, sure, whatever. I will take the first one, which is essentially Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters TV commercial. This is a little extra thing they did to promote X-Men Apocalypse, which was just spot on. Yeah,
Fox's marketing has been brilliant.
Whoever's in charge of marketing, give him a raise or her a raise, because they know what's good. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I want on the DVD when it comes out.
I agree.
I shouldn't have to go and rip it off YouTube and make a extra disc too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great commercial. It's got we've got Jubilee pretty much being like the spokesperson for Xavier School for the Gifted. You know, if you feel like you're not quite fitting in, you know.
It's a very 80s.
Perfect for what the cartoon tried to teach, what the comics is about. Spot on with what they did. And highly recommend this one. This is coming from me, but both are equally as good, as Ace is about to tell you.
I would also like to say that this is the most you're going to see Jubilee, like, in comparison to the movie, which is sad.
Now that's even more worth to go and see this.
Exactly.
Oh, damn.
The next one is one that I really liked. It's dubbed Margot Robbie Australian Psycho. I think you have the full title written down.
The beauty routine is psychologically perfect.
Yes, which is published by Vogue on YouTube.
As its title, Vogue.
Yeah. And basically it's Margot Robbie doing a kind of parody version of the American Psycho intro. And I love it. She's even got some sillier things going on, like apparently placenta face cream, which is amazingly stupid.
I think that escalated perfect. It was like, I used this, then I used that, and it's like, okay, that's perfect. Yeah. And even in the end, she kind of just like cracks up and she's like, okay. I think we're done with that take.
Yeah. The funny thing is, because as I said, I watched American Psycho. I saw this afterwards. It came out, I think, the day after, which just made me laugh. It was
That's
like, okay.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was fresh in my mind. Brilliant video.
That is awesome. Yeah, so 2 pretty good videos, which the Margot Robbie one isn't really promoting Suicide Squad one. I'm pretty sure she's in Vogue because of Suicide Squad. I mean, I mean, I'd much rather have her be the star than Jared Leto of Suicide Squad, and I'm pretty sure she would do a great job.
Yeah.
Since this is, I guess, her second biggest role.
She was in Focus with Will Smith, so I'd say maybe third. I mean, Focus wasn't really that big then.
I'd still say this is her second biggest role, because I think once Wolf of Wall Street came out, she got a lot of notoriety for that, and then she was in Suicide Squad, and then people were like, oh, she's the best character in Suicide Squad, you know. But that's cool. So 2 videos there for you. I guess there isn't anything else to say other than wrap it up, but before we do, is there anything else you would like to add, Ace, before we finish?
Yes, Red Solo Cup. That's
Solo Cup.
Yeah.
Are you going to be adding that to... This is what I was worried about. I don't want the videos of the episode to become a scrolling list.
That's not a video to watch. That's just Red Solo Cup, guys. Red Solo Cup.
Type it in.
You gotta love it.
I think it's solo brackets, right?
I think so.
Okay.
But, oh god, that had me cracking up.
It's some good stuff. Anything else? No?
That's it.
I like how it's gotten darker in the studio since we recorded. It started out nice and bright, and I'm sorry if that lawnmower, you can hear it, but they like to mow the lawn every day.
What we're going to do is when we open the curtains, we're just going to see airplanes all flocking around and they're blocking out the sun, like birds. God. And then maybe a lawnmower standing above them. That'd be quite frightening, I guess. But yeah, no, if there's nothing else, I guess I'll end this podcast, the Comic-Con podcast. Stay tuned for Comic-Con, I guess. Stay tuned on the channel in general if you're not subscribed. If you want to contact us with any other questions, you know the email once again is raccoonplusfriends@gmail.com, excuse me. And you can talk to us beautiful people. Exactly. Any questions, you know, I mean, a lot of the time you may be wondering how comes he didn't cover this. Chances are we did read up on it and we do know about it. It's just we didn't feel like we wanted to discuss it or talk about it on the podcast. So if you want to chase us up on those, definitely perfect time. Just email us, you know, what do you think of this? We'll cover it on the next podcast. I would really like to have a section where it's just questions, but, you know, maybe in due time. We'll see. But I guess I'll end it by saying I am the Angry Raccoon. I am Ace. And we will see you on the next one. Dewey something. Sure. I don't mind. And now the lawnmower stops. Alright, let's end it before it starts back. Alright, laters. Hello boys and girls, how you doing? What is that? Welcome to the new podcast. Don't do what Tourette's did. What, did Tourette's do that? No, he did. I said to him, do you want to do the podcast? He's like, sure. And then he's going on and putting on this awful British accent to introduce the podcast. And it was like, and I think me and Ferret were just like, yeah, this is the podcast. That's amazing. And it was like, I mean, I don't have no problem with him doing it, but it was like, could have warned me because it threw us off. That's beautiful.